Having surpassed 1,000 completed anime, it's time to review my old favorites and find out what holds up. I'm Sacrabolic, your envoy of hope, and this is Anime Favorite Search. Fate's Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, III.spring Song is the final in the Heaven's Feel trilogy movies. And although I will say that I didn't enjoy it as much as the previous movie, it is still a pretty good film. The movie itself is structured almost primarily to be the climax of everything that was set up in the first two films. And the first two films did an absolutely fantastic job of setting this one up. But the payoff is sort of not as entertaining as I would have liked, which is not to say it's bad. I didn't really dislike it in any regard, and it had plenty of exciting parts. I think where this kind of comes apart for me is that there's just sort of less character moments and a lot of action. Not that I didn't enjoy the action either. It's just I always tend to lean towards more character work rather than just nonstop action, which this movie sort of leans a little further into. That said, this does have a fight between Ryder and Saber Alter, which might be the best fight in the entire Fate's Stay Night series. The only one I could even compare it to on that level would be like Shiro versus Gilgamesh in Unlimited Blade Works, and even then I might actually prefer this. It's fucking super exciting. Ryder goes off. I am not sure where she's getting all this fucking mana from, considering Ryder not being able to fight without mana has been a problem in every previous route except for this one. But this one, in the last movie, Sakura used her final command seal, which means that Ryder doesn't even have a master, so her mana, as far as it was established in Unlimited Blade Work, should be fucking draining super quick, let alone the fact that she never had enough mana to go all out in the first place. And I am just not sure how she is doing any of this, but fuck me, is it exciting, because at the fucking end, where Saber goes for an Excalibur and Shiro counters with Ro Ias, which I was unaware that Ro Ias was capable of blocking Excalibur. I think it probably isn't. I think they just got a combination of lucky at that moment, but whatever. Because we know that Shiro's body is slowly getting overwritten by Archer's magic circuits. And then Ryder immediately countering with Pegasus. Not that the movie is not without any character moments whatsoever, because there is an absolutely heartbreaking / heartwarming moment where Ilya tells Shiro to come back and she gives him a little head pat, and it is just so fucking cute and heartwarming. It might be my favorite part in the entire movie, followed by the Ryder Saber fight. And there's also a really great moment where Rin actually manages to talk Sakura down at the end by just showing her some sisterly affection while also being the sort of cool tsundere she typically is. I have to say that all of the characters in the Heaven's Feel route feel like an interesting blend of their aggressive emo personalities from Unlimited Blade Works and their much more upbeat, cheerful personalities from the Saber route. And I don't hate that, actually. I'm not even sure necessarily if I prefer the Saber route characters more than the Heaven's Feel ones, because the Edge sort of gives them almost this feeling of complexity where they seemed a little more stripped down and simpler in the Saber's route. So I might prefer the Heaven's Feel characterization, even if this movie doesn't lean super far into it. I will say at the end, the fist fight with Kotomine was kind of ridiculous and sort of felt unnecessary. It feels like they needed a fight with Kotomine just because they always have a fight with Kotomine, but I was totally satisfied with them teaming up with Kotomine and then him seemingly dying to Assassin earlier on in, I think, this film. So I didn't really feel like that was necessary, and I think they probably could have stopped with this fucking badass moment where Shiro dupes Rule Breaker and manages to free Sakura using Rule Breaker, and then Ilya manages to sacrifice herself at the end. Now, at the end, Shiro's body disintegrates, they say, and it looks like they get some fucking, mage to create a doll body from him, and I guess they put him in a doll body. And I know only from the mallisting of the character that briefly appears that she also appeared in Garden of Sinners, and she's like a super powerful mage that makes doll bodies, and they put Shiro's soul in the doll body. None of this was stated in the movie, and I exclusively needed to read an outside source from that. I will say that it was probably mentioned in the visual novel, because I know the Fate Stay Night visual novel almost over-explains every single aspect of its universe, and I'm sure that 99% of my questions could be answered by playing the visual novel, but I'm not really reviewing that, am I? So yeah, the ending seems a little unclear as to why there's just a shot of a doll body and then suddenly Shiro's back alive at the end. Another thing I'm not super clear of is why the fuck is Ryder still around? I think it's nice that she gets a happy ending in this route, and Ryder definitely endears herself over the Heaven's Feel route, and almost exclusively the Heaven's Feel route, let's be real here. But considering we know that Sakura blew through all of her command seals, and we know that Shiro's command seals vanished, and we know that Rin's command seals vanished, and we know that everyone else is dead, there shouldn't, and Kotomine is also dead and also lost all of his command seals. It does seem like, how the fuck is Ryder still around? Because there shouldn't be anyone supplying with her with mana. Heaven's Feel has basically absolutely no issues with it whatsoever if you take it as its own isolated route, but by completely skipping over Shiro dying to Lancer at the beginning, it is absolutely impossible to do that, because then this whole trilogy has absolutely no fucking opening. So you have to take it as part of the rest of the Fate Stay Night sort of trilogy with the Saber Route, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel. But the second you take them into all account, it makes no fucking sense as an anime. I don't know if, like I said, maybe the visual novel explains all this shit. It most certainly does not in the anime. One thing I did find comparing them, however, is that one, I noticed while thumbnail searching that Ilya doing the turnaround where she agrees to help Shiro in movie 2 parallels the turnaround she does at the end where she sacrifices herself. And that's just something neat I noticed, and I wanted to give a shout out to the directors on that. But the other thing I noticed about Heaven's Feel is the guy who is asking Shiro about morality at the end of Unlimited Blade Works appears to be one of the mages that you see from Grandpa Mato's perspective, who helped found the Holy Grail War in the first place. There's probably something going on with that with the Fate Stay Night sequel, Hollow Atyrexia, but I don't know, because they didn't make an anime about that. I'll watch it if they make an anime about that, but I have a feeling they'll probably remake the Saber route for Ufotable before they remake Hollow Altarexia route anyway. So yeah, a lot of exciting moments, some good character moments, very action heavy though, very stripped down, so not super much what I get attached with. And I like that the previous films had a lot of romantic moments between Shiro and Sakura, but the end of this sort of like breezes over the endings, doesn't give us a proper epilogue, probably because it's already at 2 hours. So I have to say, I would have just loved a sort of romantic epilogue like we got with Unlimited Blade Works. So yeah, there's definitely some things that are holding back Spring Song, but it is still a pretty good movie, and honestly sort of renewed my faith in the Fate franchise. Twitch and Discord in the description. I've been Sacrobolic, your envoy of hope. Bye bye.